I don't want to put you on the spot, but could you argue against this?
Yeah, read it to me and I'll try.
We can control how people treat us.
Mm. This is tough. Um, I would argue against this.
So I am interviewing folks um, about something that's meaningful to them,
Mm.
something that you think is true.
Mm.
And from a neutral perspective, I'm asking questions that explore how you arrived at the conclusion and what supports your confidence that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. And you're okay if I record?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Sure.
right, awesome. And you said your name was Deon,
Yes, sir.
and it's Deion, right?
No, it's Deon though.
Deon?
Yeah, yeah. So my mom dropped the I from that.
Okay, all right. Kind of threw me off there. Prime time.
Yeah, it's named after, like, he was the inspiration of the name, but just not the spelling. So,
Got it. Got it.
Because I have a rather long name, so I guess she wanted to make my first name just as simple as possible. It's
Okay.
Deon. So,
All right, so Deon.
yes, sir.
And my name's David.
Nice to meet you, David.
Nice to meet you as well. So you're just out having a stroll in the sun?
Yeah, I was just strolling around, just reading a few of my books, just some pages in them. Just like to dig in sometimes.
Cool. What do you like to read about?
I usually read up on like technology stuff, some finance stuff, and then I was reading a bit of Rumi's poems too. I'm into that.
Oh,
Read some
Rumi?
mystical stuff. Yeah, I love Rumi.
Awesome. The Sufi poet?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
hmm
right on. Do you have one in mind?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
Not even. I don't know him off the top of my head like that, but I just have like just ideas that he says in his poetry, and the way he goes about, excuse me, speaking on the way he saw life through his lens. You know what I mean? And how in my opinion, I think he kind of transcended the religion of Islam.
Okay.
Like he used it as, from what it seems like, he used it as like a foundation, which I think is a good foundation. But he took it, like he transcended that the boxing of religion kind of. I feel like religion is sort of like a guidance to get people on track, and then you can take yourself and transcend beyond like just I don't know, just what is the word, like constraints rather. You know what I mean?
That got deep pretty quick.
I mean, I guess. Because my aunt, mine's one of my favorite aunts. She's very smart. She told me that before there was like the religion, let's say of Islam, since speaking on Rumi, she said that it was all that way of life always existed as a good natural way of life.
Okay.
So, and then there's a religion just to restrict people and make people kind of, I guess, feel bad and reflect on things to change themselves, because that's the way humans have to operate for some reason, maybe off of guilt and regret and shame.
Okay.
But
So it kind of uses those ideas, and Rumi, his message transcends the constraints of religion.
I think so, yeah. And that's just my perspective of it. You know what I mean? And like anything with art and just in life in general, I think like art is a life. I mean, I think life is an art form. So, and it's all subjective, as people say, right? Subjective is the word. So,
Okay. Okay. Cool. Is there do you have something in mind that you want to explore? Like
Uh,
a conclusion that you've arrived to that we can explore how you got there?
Do you want it to be extreme or just like something regular? Not extreme, but like how do you? I don't know. Like,
Whatever you're comfortable with. Sometimes I'll ask if you were to find out tomorrow that it was not true,
mhm.
your behavior would be different.
Okay, okay.
But whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I find that these days, as I've been coming into that, I'm just comfortable with myself. I like to think in like totality, but I'm constantly being reproached with things in life as I continue to live life. But at this point in time now that I've been reflecting on, like I'm comfortable even with even my bad ways. Like I'm comfortable with how I'm bad in certain ways. Just that's what I am at this moment. Now, if I'm to stay this way, that's one thing. But if I want to acknowledge it and then grow from it, it's not going to be immediate. I have to live in a certain way. So the same amount of time it took me to be bad, so to speak, in this way, it's going to take probably even double. And the time doesn't really matter, but it's going to take iterations in time for me to not be bad in these ways. You know what I mean? And some things I'm just gonna stay that way. It's fine. Just as much as the good ways too. I can grow in the good ways, and I can leave some good things behind, and even transcend again those good things into something else. You know what I mean?
You have acceptance for the times where you've acted in bad ways.
Mm.
Would
Yeah,
that be
absolutely.
accurate?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, is there an idea that we can explore using that
Like
idea?
um, let me think in a way we can. Well, the good.
What does bad mean?
Right, that's what I was gonna say. The good and the bad thing is like it's really whatever to me, and that's even another like exercise and thought and meditation on life. 'Cause I think a life is also, as an art form, is also a meditation and be living, like a living and breathing meditation. Because most people think meditation is just sitting and being still and trying to block out things. But life, I think there's many forms to meditation. There's just walking, as I've been doing. There's a reading. There's a intense focus on a craft that could be a meditation, and then also, like I said, just living. So, and when it comes to that good and bad thing, I've meditated on that in action in my life, and just like I can be doing something that is considered bad to someone else, but to me it could be like within my values and my ethics and my morals, it could be good to me, or it could just be something that had to be done. You know what I mean? But I can be reflecting on it from an objective point of view and how it affects how other people may see it, that it may be bad to them. You know what I mean? Like certain things that I say could be deemed bad, or not acceptable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'm okay with that because I have to live with myself every day. And long as I feel like as long as I don't go against my values, morals, and ethics, that it's okay for me to be bad in these ways. And it's not really bad to me. It's just I'm calling it bad because that's a normal thing that everybody can come conclude on. You know what I mean? Same thing is good. Some things I don't really think in the form of what the definition of good is. I don't really think I can't really care for certain things people call good, like caring, like trying to care about everything that doesn't really concern you and that you can't really do anything about. I don't think that's really a good nature to have.
What informs your decision about whether something is good or bad?
Um, Depending on it's always context, but the severity of the action. If I'm not, if I'm not harming someone or stopping them from living in the way that that they see fit, I'm not doing anything bad.
Okay. Okay. Because the word morality is coming to me
Hmm.
because of the good and bad
Hmm.
thing. Would it be okay with you if we kind of labeled what we're talking about right now morality? We don't have to,
Hmm.
but it would kind of help me.
Yeah.
If you want to use a different word, you totally can.
No, it helps. If it helps you, it's cool with me. Whatever frame of reference you want to go from is easier to
Okay.
have a conversation.
Because I was going to repeat back what I heard from you,
Hmm.
um, so that I make sure I understand, and it gives you a chance to correct me. And I was going to include the word morality in it.
Hmm.
And so what I was going to say is the way, what informs your morality is whether you're hurting someone or uh, or whether you're keeping them from living the life that they want to live.
Hmm.
Would that be a
I think so. Yeah.
okay? Okay, all right. Um, why is that a good framework?
I think it's why is that a good framework? Because let's say if I'm doing something in that I believe is to be good from a morality standpoint, again to my ethics and values and morals, and somebody wants to dislike it and say it was bad. If I didn't do anything to stop them from living the way they're living, it doesn't even matter what they think, really. You know, it's not really bad to me.
Okay, so regardless of what other people think,
Mhm.
as long as you're not hurting them, and as long as you're not keeping them from living the life that they want to live, that's that's moral to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Because they can be thinking they're doing good by telling me what I'm doing is bad and I need to stop, or to be judging me, and that could be stopping me from living the life I want to be living, right? So it's like,
right. It sounds like you want them to treat you that way also.
no, people could, what's that saying? Like treat people the way you want to be treated. I think it's kind of selfish. Like everybody wants to be treated in their own way, and people are, and I also feel that people can only get away with or do unto me what I allow them to do. So,
Okay.
however, it's not really that I want them to treat me a way that I treat them. It's just they can act in whatever way they feel, but I'm only going to allow them to do so much. Like their feelings and their thoughts of me and what I do, it doesn't affect me unless I allow it to.
You have you feel you feel like you have control at least over part of the situation.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
As much as I can control, yeah. Because I also think, and this plays into like this probably might be the best way to go about the initial question, which was something I wanted to speak about. Um, is that I think we can create circumstances in our life. Like there's circumstances that we just have to approach or they come to us and we have to deal with them. But I feel like after a while, when it comes to like confidence in yourself and belief in yourself and control of your emotions, the things that you can control and like actually do something with yourself, I think we can start to create the circumstances we want out of this life. And that also plays a part in the things that we allow people to like how we allow people to approach us in life. And that's one of the biggest things. We are literally in control with how we allow people to treat us.
Mm.
Now it takes a lot of courage and it's not, and I'm not saying it's not a dangerous thing or it's not a, you can't be scared, but you can, the way people treat you and how you let people treat you, I feel like we have control over that.
Okay. That might be something cool to explore.
Hmm.
The idea that you can control the way somebody else treats you.
Hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
We can control the way people treat us. Okay.
And to take it a little beyond that, because it seems
Yeah, you can elaborate.
it's like it's very there's a lot of variables when it comes to that, because there's also like there's the word like manipulation, right? It has a sort of connotation to it,
Uh-huh.
to where it's always something evil when somebody's talking being manipulative, right?
Manipulation is always evil?
Usually in the context that it's spoken in.
Okay.
Like if you say manipulation, that you're manipulating someone, it's a bad thing.
Okay.
But when it comes to like controlling the way people approach you and how they treat you, there's a manipulative aspect to that, to where you can manipulate how they're going to approach you and be speaking to you. It doesn't always have to be as bruteful as like you're not talking to me this way, or I'm gonna walk away, or because you can do those things. Those things are very circumstantial as well. You can create a circumstance where you just don't allow them to come into your space.
Uh-huh.
But let's say it's an okay relationship that you want to build on, or it's just something that you want to use to your advantage and also to their advantage, maybe even as well. You can manipulate the situation and the circumstance to benefit you and them. Or if you wanted to benefit yourself, that's cool too. Because even when people approach you in negative, in any way that they want, negative or positive, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I believe that I can manipulate it to the way that I see fit. It's to the best of my ability. Because
Okay.
there was like an example where Benjamin Franklin, he had like this one guy, he was his enemy. He recognized that this guy was his enemy, but he had to work with him. So I'm gonna say manipulative way, but he thought critically about the situation and seeing how he can manipulate it to his favor. And the dude had a large collection of like rare books. So Ben Franklin asked him, "Oh, can I borrow one of your books? I heard you had a great collection." And the dude was like, "Damn, I really don't like Ben Franklin, but you know how people are when they're about themselves and the things that they hold dear to them." He's like, "Oh man, shoot, he's asking me for my book. Like this dude, he's looking up to me for my collection." So he let him borrow Ben Franklin borrow the book. Ben Franklin reads it and brings it back. He's like, "Oh, this is a great book." They talk about it, and now he creates this discourse with him, and that's a form of like manipulation a little bit on Ben Franklin's part.
Right. Yeah. I think there's actually an effect named after.
Mm.
I think there's like a Benjamin Franklin effect, and the way I understand it was, if you ask somebody to do you a favor, the likelihood that they'll like you is higher,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or something like that.
because most people are, which I don't think is a problem. Like, uh, I read this one book. It was a good book, but it's pertaining to life too. Cause I don't like to base my thought process off books from other people's thoughts, but it's in practice as well. I found that people are very much indulged in themselves. Usually, everyone is more than likely. If people are saying they're not, they're probably lying or they're probably uh lost or something. Maybe 'cause I feel like everybody should be. You should be with yourself because we're with ourselves literally every day.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So, but there's like
Can't really get away from
yeah,
that.
you can't really escape yourself. Some people try to. They try to escape themselves and other people and other things and overindulge in other aspects of life to get away from themselves and their mind. But you can't escape yourself. Not for too long, at least. It always comes back.
And so that justifies sometimes being self-centered.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
that's what it's called. Yeah, because I feel like there's even a way to be selfish to the point where you can become selfless. I think.
Oh, selflessly selfish,
Mm.
or selfishly
Selfishly selfless at
selfless.
some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, can I ask about this again?
Yeah, sure.
Um, and I guess, is it okay if I ask a couple of questions?
You can ask whatever you want, man.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
fine.
So I have a couple of questions that have you put yourself on a scale. So on a scale from 0 to 100,
Mhm.
how confident are you that if I let go of this pen, it'll fall to the whiteboard?
If you're holding it in that same position right now, let it
Yeah,
go.
if I just let go, how confident are you on that scale that this will fall and hit the whiteboard?
100%.
100?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, generally speaking, what percentage of your conclusions do you think are accurate?
Um, I mean, I'd like to think I've heard this a lot lately. It's been very funny that some friends and just people I've talked to, just regular, they say I speak very matter of factly. Like
Okay.
I'm very sure about what I'm saying,
Okay.
and I
Like
agree.
direct.
Yeah, like very like if I say something, I think I'm right, like and I think it's true,
Okay.
and I feel like yeah, I think what the conclusion I come to at that point in time, I believe it to be so. Because when I do believe it to be so, I'm going to live that way. But when I get approached with the fact that this is not correct, now I have to be malleable enough and fluid enough to shift to
Mm.
know that okay, oh this is wrong. I've been living like it's right, and I've been going at it like oh this is right, and then I find out that it's wrong. It's wrong. Now I have to do something else, or shift it in a way.
We can let that go by for a second. Okay.
Excuse me.
So back to the question. Um, so, are you comfortable putting yourself on that scale? Like, are you comfortable giving yourself a number on that scale
Of my conclusions.
that you think are accurate? Right.
Um, yeah, I'll give one. Let me see. I feel like if I come to the conclusion, I firmly believe it 100%. So, because I won't come to the, like, 'cause there's ways I feel like there's ways I can live in an instance where I'm figuring out if I'm 100% right. Like, so I'll apply it for a long period, for a good period of time, for a good amount of iterations, and apply this truly as if I think. Let's find out if it works or not. I don't know, so let me find out. Let me keep on applying it, versus sitting back and trying to let me keep trying to calculate and come to the conclusion, and then I'm gonna go live this way. That doesn't make sense to me. So I would say, like, if I come to a conclusion, I believe it's correct. And like I said, until it's proven otherwise, I'm going to live as if it's correct.
Okay. You need to be shown that something's wrong in order to change your mind about it.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So,
And I'm always on the search and always looking for new experiences to even sometimes prove myself like wrong. Because I would like to keep growing. I don't want to just be, oh, I'm right, and then I'm gonna stay here and try to find every way to the confirmation bias and make me stay right the whole time. Like it doesn't benefit me in any way.
you're open to changing your mind as long as you have good reasons to. Okay.
Especially if it's gonna benefit me.
Okay. Here's another question that's kind of similar, but it's a lot different. And the question is, on that same scale, what percentage do you hope are accurate?
I hope all of them are.
You hope all of them are?
Well, no. Let me say, let me not.
And are you at 100 at the previous one? Like, right now, 100% of your conclusions you think are accurate?
I would like to think so, but that's incorrect. I can't say that, no. I would like to think so, but I can't say that, no.
Okay.
Because that would just be me just being ignorant. Like, because I know everything I think and I've concluded is not correct. It's not correct. Everything can't be correct. There might be some things, and it's not even about the correctness of them. It's just about, like, I'm figuring out this life as I'm living it, like live time.
Uh-huh.
And picking up the pieces and learning from people that have come before, learning from children that are brand new to these situations. They have a fresh perspective of all these things. There's no blockers on them. And I know I have some barriers up on myself that I don't even know about yet. Because there's what you know, there's the things you know you don't know, and there's the things you don't even know you don't know.
Right.
So it's like, I'll be a true fool to think that I know everything that I need to know, and that I know all the things I don't know yet, and I'm about to figure them out. That's a lie.
You're open to learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. 0 to 100. How confident are you that this is true? That we can control how people treat us?
Absolutely, yeah.
100.
Because you can always just try to erase them from your life. So, I think it's possible. I think in a way that's not physically harming people, unless they had to come to that. But
You think this is possible, or are you confident that it's true?
I'm confident that's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can. Because the same aunt that I was talking about earlier, she said, she also said to me one time that when you're with someone, like either you become them or they become you. So it's like, whose will is stronger? And I believe I have a strong will, and that but if somebody's will is stronger and it's something that is beneficial, I would love to step into that realm that they're in for sure, and then come out of it with myself still and something else added on top of it. But yeah, I feel like if somebody's will that is like, I don't want to say below me, but it's not beneficial to myself, I won't allow them to overpower me with their will. I don't think so. But I'll work to my best ability to not allow it.
Okay. It sounds like you have a pretty good grasp on boundaries.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes other people uncomfortable. How much I believe in what people call boundaries. Yeah, this is my life. At the end of the day, like I have to, and it's not as morbid or as dark as people make it seem. But I have to die with this life. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have to live this. That means I have to live this life as well. So why would I go around letting people like intrude on the life that I'm supposed to be living? Like I can share it with you for sure. But I won't allow you to come intrude on my life.
Are there any limits to this? Like, so I can think of a couple of situations where, like, say, this person driving by decides they want to throw a can of grape soda at us or whatever. Um, could we have changed that?
No, I can't control how people live their life and the actions that they take in the moment. But as far as like that, that comes to the main thing of that, like coming to being in relation with people. I can't control everybody's instance to me. Like, and as far as like being, as far as it being consistent, somebody consistently doing that, I will make sure that stops.
Okay.
So like,
So,
but like one-off, like off situations and people are just being themselves, like I have no control over that. But if there's an instance where I'm in this place and this continuously happens, I can just not go to this place, or I can make it a problem for everybody.
okay. So it sounds like, and you can correct me, it sounds like the limit is like they do it one time.
Mm.
We may not be able to control their actions
Mm.
on how they're treating us, but what we do in response to that to keep them from doing it again, we do have control over. Would that
Right.
be?
I think so. Yeah, something along those lines. Because this also plays into something I learned some years ago with, um, like being, like taking action versus being reactionary. Because the instance you spoke of kind of is a reactionary kind of thing. If somebody was to do something to me, now I'm reacting. And that comes into the I become them or they become me. So if they make a move, and now I'm reacting to them. I'm becoming them now. Versus something happens, it happens, and then I act on a circumstance that's going on, versus just being a slave to the circumstance that's going on.
I think I'm getting a better idea of what you mean by this. Is there a way that we can test this?
Um, like right now, you, or just like as an examples or questions.
If we wanted to test this to see if it was actually true, which I'm not saying that it's not true.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to find out if it was true, is there a way that we could test it and find out?
I feel like you can take that. It's a tough one, but you could take that, um, and bring that thought process and that belief to your family, and see.
Oh,
Yeah, because
you could test this out on your family?
Well, those are the people, like the first relationships you have in your life, right? So, and not everybody in your family, like everybody's somebody's kid, right? Everybody's somebody's nephew, somebody's brother, somebody's sister, or whatever the case may be. So, and usually, and it's tough because even I have nephews and older siblings, like I'm the oldest, but siblings that have gotten older and cousins that have gotten older, and you know them when they're babies, you know what I mean? And you still have that frame of mind kind of that you have to break and allow. Not that you have to allow them, that you can stop them, but just realize that these people are whole humans now. Like they always have been, but they're like whole adults now. Like they have a whole, like the same way we, like myself, have grown up and I'm my own person. People still see me as like Deon. Like they watched me grow up as a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had
You have
to,
a long relationship.
Yeah, and I had to not like I said, it's not about all manipulation, but it's just different ways to deal with people. Is that I had to show people that this is how you're not going to deal with me anymore, based off of whatever time frame that you've known me, and based on the biological constraints of our relationship. May you be whatever title it may be, or what you think you are to me because of whatever societal structure. Like I am myself. Like yeah, this is my life. Nobody's going to hell for me or have whatever case. I don't really want to get in that, but nobody's going to live this life for me and create the life that I want for me, except myself. So I'm gonna tell you, or not just straight flat out tell you like this is it, but in the experiences that we have together in certain circumstances and environments, I'm going to act in a way to show that this is how you're not going to treat me. One, that's the first thing. So, and that's just based off like just small. It's always small things, very small things. The things people say, the way they act, when they're around you, and it's just little things you have to just step up and let them know.
So what would the test look like?
Let's see.
'Cause you said you could test it on your family,
Yeah.
and it could be a safer test because it's people that you know already and that,
Yeah, and
that
hopefully
you have
they
a good
love
relationship
you. Yeah.
with. So what would be the test What would it look like?
I got one. And this is very juvenile, but it's extreme. But it was like early on when I was figuring out, like, oh wait, this is my life, and it was something so simple. Like I said, it was a very simple thing, but it had boiled over to where like my uncles, they're like my older brothers. I'm the oldest of my siblings, but they're like my older brother. He taught me so much, and I love those dudes. And but one of my uncles, like, and I'm like them very much, like the both of them. But one of my uncles, he was in the ways that I'm the same way. You know, if you're alike with somebody, you bump heads a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So he was just saying and doing things at one point in time. He had always been doing it, but he was always my uncle. He was always, you know, the old, like, respect and everything. It's always still respect though. But there's levels to respect, and I felt like I give a level of respect to people, and I should receive a level of respect back just off a baseline. And I felt like he wasn't giving me that level of respect, so I had to let him know in a few words, in a few ways, that, oh, this way you go about things is not happening anymore. Whether I may lose this situation or whatever the case may be, or it might be hard feelings for some point in time, I'm just letting you know this will not happen again. And it hasn't since. And we have a great relationship though. You know what I mean?
What would it have looked like if the test failed?
It could have been a estranged relationship. It could have been just hard feelings. Or if I didn't do nothing, it could have been me just harboring it all the time and feeling the kind of way anytime I went around them. Which is like, why would I want to feel that way? Why would I allow someone else to make me feel that way every time they come around me? Or every time I have to go around them? Doesn't make any sense.
Like stress or kind of weirdness?
Yeah, anxiety or whatever people call it, yeah.
To the stress and the weirdness is an example of a failure of the test that you could use to find out if we can control how people treat us?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest failure of the test, or I think the biggest failure is not applying it to me. Because if somebody's making you feel away and you don't take action on it to remedy that situation, they might not even care. They might not even realize it, or it might just be all beneficial for them. And you have to live with that every day, with yourself every day. You have to go to sleep with that every single day. And I sleep very great. I wake up every day feeling, for the most part, very good. Because at the end of the day, and it's not no easy. I have to do this every day. Like, and it's not always. It's not that I'm every time like look.
Somehow I find myself next to trains often lately. So sorry about that.
I wonder what that omen is. But I want to say it's not like I go out every day searching like who's doing me wrong or who's doing this. That's very tiring. But and I feel like that was part of the learning process too, because I was doing that for a while when I was a little younger. Like, let me find out who's not, and that's only one instance of my whole totality of life and becoming myself and continuously growing. But I don't go out searching for these things that are doing wrong by me. I'd rather shed light and gratitude on the great things that are going on and the people that are treating me great, so I know how it feels to be treated the way I would like to be treated, and the abundance that comes from that and the growth and strength of those relationships in the context of this situation I'm talking about. So I don't want to get off the person that I'm going around like, oh, hey, who's true? No, it's not. That's very tiring. There's way more beneficial ways I could be using my energy. So I could be focusing on the great relationships that I have, which I do.
Yeah. It seems like it would be like a waste of energy to be like kind of paranoid about how people think of you and that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're cool for a couple more questions?
I'm here for whatever you got for me.
Okay. You seemed pretty confident about this. I was curious if there was anything that you could learn that would make your confidence in this go up, that you don't already know.
I think the biggest thing I can learn is how I can make sure that I am reflecting that as well to other people, that I'm making sure I'm not making people feel like I'm not treating people in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like, or having people have to go, not that they shouldn't, but everybody should, but the relationship that I think are good and I think I'm good in, I hope these people are in some way trying to figure out how they can manipulate me to stop treating them in a bad way. And because I maybe I just don't know that I'm doing it, and I could be. And I just want to. So I feel like I can learn to reflect as much as I want people to treat me and have these circumstances where people treat me the way I would like to be treated. I would hope I'm doing the same for other people, and just be cognizant that I need to be reflecting on myself as well and how I'm doing to other people, and not just how people are acting towards me.
Would you say that if you found yourself treating people better, that would raise your confidence in this?
Oh, for sure, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's
Okay.
way more simple, yeah. But yeah, for sure, yeah.
Okay. What would lower your confidence?
Probably just the reverse. Wait, no, wait.
If you, okay, so that'd be the question. If you found yourself treating people poorly, that would lower your confidence that this is true?
No. That's why I was like when I said it, I was like, no, it would not. No, it would just show me that I feel like it would show me that people are not taking the initiative to um to put it to the challenge that, hey, you need to not be treating me this way.
Okay, so that's interesting. What would raise your confidence, or the thing that would raise your confidence, if that was opposite, that would not lower your confidence.
No, I think it could even add more to the confidence in it, because it's like, oh, you're not practicing it, so you're allowing me, and it sounds kind of terrible, but it's like that one song, like I forget the name of it, but it's like sweet dreams I made of these, who am I, blah blah blah. Like some people want to use you, some people want to be used by you, and there is some people that they just some people allow other people to treat them terribly. Like, not that they don't even know they're being treated, like they allow people to do it. Like, and it gives them that, it fills them with like the, oh my, look at, woe is me, these people are doing this to me. Because imagine taking accountability to say, stop this.
Mm.
Because it really does start with you saying, I'm not accepting this.
Okay, so I'll just summarize kind of my evolution of my understanding of this whole subject,
Okay.
and just tell me if I'm wrong in any way. Because at first, when you said we can control how people treat us,
Mhm.
I took that as like I can prevent people from throwing cans of soda at me.
Mm.
Um, and I guess I wasn't really on board right off the bat. But it seems like the way I understand what you're saying now, after you've explained it, is that you can't necessarily prevent somebody from doing that, but it's your responsibility on how you react to that kind of situation and the boundaries that you might need to set so that it doesn't happen again.
Mhm.
Would that be,
Yeah.
is there
Just
anything you want to clear up
yeah,
about
just
that?
to be picky with the words a little bit. I don't think I do my best to not react to anything. So how I would assess the situation and then take action on the situation is
Maybe
how I would go about it.
respond would be a better word
Yeah,
for.
just whatever takes the control away from the person doing the act that you dislike. I think that's the biggest thing. Because if you can take, I feel like if I can take the control, make sure that whatever they do is not like whatever I'm about to do is because I'm going to do it, not because this person did this. Now I have to do this.
Uh-huh.
Like reactionary things, because that's majority of what people are acting on. Like this person made me feel this way, so I'm gonna react this way.
Okay.
Versus this person did this. This is how I feel about it. This is how I feel. Now what am I going to do? Now let me do.
You're saying it's up to you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all like, and I'll not that it's like, well, there's a thing I believe, like I always say, there's simple, these are simple things I'm saying. Like I'm making it sound simple, but simple and easy are two different things. Like the
Yeah.
simple things is, this is what they did. This is how I feel about what they did. Okay, I allow myself to feel this. Now I'm going to act on this in the way that's going to benefit me in this situation, whatever it may be.
Got it.
So that's how I go about it, at least, because I feel like it keeps the control with me because there's so much things going on in this world right now, like literally anything, to where like I truly believe, and it's not like I can be doing apps, I could just be existing, and it's going to make somebody feel some kind of way.
Mm.
So it's like, and then if they feel some kind of way, then they're gonna let me know in certain way, some way or another, maybe. But usually I just try to like, or do my best to just disregard how anybody feels really about towards me, because it has nothing to do with me. Like how they feel about me has nothing to do with it. The same way how I feel
Mm.
about what they're doing is just that's how I feel. They don't care. They don't have to care either. I don't put any faith in somebody caring about how I feel. Like, cause that's why would they have to care? Why would I give them the control or give them the please? This is how I feel about this. I want to let you know.
Yeah.
What is that gonna do? What? People
Yeah.
don't
It
care.
reminds me of a quote. I don't know who it said. It's like a meme or something that said, "What people think of me is not my responsibility."
No, not at all. I live that way every single day, and the way it makes other people feel is hilarious. Because again, it has nothing to do with me, but it's like people speak on it, and I appreciate them speaking on it, and I still let them know like, but that's how you feel. I'm happy that you're in tune with how you feel. Now it's up to you to figure that out. It has nothing to do with me. Like I'm here living my life. Again, if I'm not stopping you from living your life and achieving what you want to achieve, I have no care in the world.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Well, I appreciate you stopping and talking to me.
Hey, I thank you for just allowing me to speak nonsense. I guess. I don't know.
Do you have any questions for me?
Um, let me think. I feel like,
Or is there anything else you want to say?
excuse me. I don't want to be babbling about anything. What is what made you come up with this question initially? Like, what are you trying to figure out with people when it comes to seeing
Which question?
like with the whole initial question, which is like, what is something that you I forget what it is initially the big question that you had on the board.
It just says YouTube interviews, something meaningful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you looking to capture from people's meaning today?
So I'm interested in both of us, like in this situation, both of us to have a better understanding of a conclusion that you've come to.
Mm.
And not only that, but more importantly, how you arrived at the conclusion, like what your reasons are,
Mm.
um, and what supports your confidence that it's true.
Oh, okay.
Um, so, the have you ever heard of the word epistemology?
I have not, no.
Okay, not many people have,
Mm.
but it's the theory of knowledge, the
Mm.
study of knowledge, how we come to know things.
Mm.
And so that's what I'm out here interviewing people about, is their epistemology.
That's cool because I've had a few conversations over the years about like I find like people take offense to a lot of things. Like if you're, cause I love having conversations. That's the reason why I was like, let me just sit down. Not cause I want to, oh, this is my thoughts and everybody listen to me, I'm right. No, but I truly love having dialogue with people just to understand, like you said, like how did you come to this thought? Like where did this come from? And let's just mentally spar on this thing, like, and just not to like I'm trying to change your mind or I want to agree with you or disagree with you. It's not about that. It's just an understanding. I don't have to. You don't have to agree with anything I just said. It's not gonna change my mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. If anything, like what I learned, like I loved like debate class when I was in college for a little bit, and one of my teachers, she taught me that when you're debate, like you have your side of the debate, but you should be able to debate the other person's side
Uh-huh.
better than your debate even, so you truly understand where it is that they're coming from.
Yeah.
And then also so you can poke holes in it too. But it's just like you want to be have a well-rounded understanding of what is going on in this debate.
Yeah.
Not just like this is my standpoint on it. What is theirs? And really dive deep and research on the things that they're about to speak on. You may even like be able to also just to repeat the thing that they're saying back, and then you go back and forth like, oh, so you're saying this, and this, and they say yeah, and then you poke the holes in it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to put you on the spot, but could you argue against this?
yeah, read it to me and I'll try.
We can control how people treat us.
Mm. This is tough. I would argue against this. Well, in that initial statement, I would argue in the way that you initially seen it, even though I know that's not cause we just did a whole discussion on what I really mean by that.
Uh-huh.
But I would just poke holes in there, like we can't control the way other people act. Like I would just start there. Like I cannot control the actions of another person, and I'll just keep picking and going that way and going that way.
Okay. What would be your most compelling reason for that side of the argument?
Most compelling reason?
Yeah. To say that this is not true.
Easy example, the terrible way people get treated all over the world, not just America. But let me just keep it where I'm at.
Sure.
There is groups of people in America that get treated terribly, and it has only changed on the surface ways of things. We can't control how those people treat us.
That was great. Cool.